Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Colonel Shubhajit Naha, CISSP retired, and uh, today we are starting this CISSP podcast series. Me and Love will be hosting a daily podcast for on the weekdays at 5 p.m. India time, so that we can help with this podcast to all CISSP aspirants who would like to, go for this important certification. With me is Love. Love is our lead mentor for GRC roles. He is also a very famous, ISO 27001 implementer, and he is also our associate director for information security services. And we thought there could be no better way than to, you know, to reach the aim. Our aim is of getting 1 lakh uh, CISSPs in India in next 10 years. If that's the target, I thought there's no other way than to go live with a podcast which can reach out to the masses on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and any other, CDN network to help out people with, preparing for the CISSP exam. Over to you, Love.
Yeah. So, sir, a quick intro about myself as well. Like you discussed, have been there in the industry for last 8 to 10 years. Right now, mainly, dealing with GRC and ASO 27001 implementations. So, yes, sir, just one thing wanted to ask: what is the purpose of this podcast?
The purpose is very simple. Purpose is to provide the knowledge base required for passing this beautiful and important certification for all information and cybersecurity and IT professionals who would like to understand the modern day risks which are there in digital growth of the organizations and how to protect for better, I'll think the overall development of this world. Because today, if we are cyber secure, there is going to be immense growth. If there's going to be immense growth, it will be beneficial for the mankind. And that's
Right.
why I feel that this certification can help organizations grow to a level, people grow to a level which will probably propel the safe growth of digital businesses, digital governance, and it'll fuel what we are achieving, that peace and peace for mankind, growth for development.
So, sir, why is CISSP so valuable? Just give us a little bit overview about this whole CISSP certification. What is it, and why is it so valuable?
Okay, so CISSP is conducted by an organization called ISC Square, right? It's a US based non-profit organization which conducts this exam, which is called Certified Information Systems Security Professional. Now, please understand, it talks about certified information systems. It doesn't
Okay.
say certified cybersecurity professional. So please do not confuse yourself. So it is an information systems security professional. It was started 30 years back by an organization called ISC Square, which was primarily started by US veterans. Okay. So
Mhm.
there are a lot of defense background people were part of ISC Square, and they started the certification keeping in mind the modern day requirements of securing your organizations against information security threats. Okay. So over a period of time in last 30 years, this certification has become very valuable because it is considered as gold standard in information security. It provides you with a great breadth of information to how to deal with modern day information security risk, dealing with people, processes, and technologies. So it is not only technology, which is core focus of cybersecurity professionals. It also talks about people, processes, and technologies, and it provides that management overview. It provides that mid-senior, senior level overview as to how this certification can help creating a program, managing information security processes, and in overall growth can propel the overall business objective of any organization. Right, Love?
Okay. Okay. So one more thing, just wanted to check on who is this podcast mainly intended for? Are we basically targeting aspiring CSSPs, or are we targeting all the infosec professionals out there who are in the industry right now?
So it's not only infosec professionals which I'm targeting, or all IT professionals I'm targeting. I'm targeting by this podcast to spread the word that CISSP is an exam for anyone who aspires to be an infosec professional, who wants to transition into an information security professional, or someone who is already in the profession wants to skill up. So it is targeted at all IT, all finance, all accounting, anyone, anyone
Okay.
who
Okay.
understands the business risks from information security leakage. And I want to say that it provides that basic, uh, s- foundation stone for you to step up your game once you have the certification and realize, okay, where is it that you would like to go further.
Right. Right. And sir, what would be the format of these daily episodes?
So the format would be, what we will do is, we understand that overall, CISSP requires roughly 40 to 48 hours of guided sessions, right? So if it is going to be 40 to 48 hours of guided sessions which we need to impart, we are going to create a 40-minute session every day covering, the complete package, right? So that means we will require roughly, close to 100 sessions to cover the entire, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
CISSP
Around
bandwidth,
100.
right? Right. So we will discuss at length all the concepts, all the topics, and we assume that we will cover all the 8 domains of CISSP in roughly 40 hours worth of this podcast.
Right. Right. And the 8 domains, sir, you mentioned, please provide a little bit of high level overview so that audience who is watching the first podcast can get some understanding around this.
Right. So CISSP exam, okay, is meant for anyone who wants to firstly come to the information security professional, but you need to have some
Right.
level of experience in how organizations are governed, how security is managed, and what are the risks. Okay, so that is first requirement. Second requirement is you understand the today's modern nuances of data and assets which needs protection,
Mm-hmm.
right? Third aspect is you need to understand that systems need to be built securely from day one, and systems cannot be secured after you have built them and then find a patchwork as to whether what to do with the system when it has been built. So security from the beginning, right? Secure by design. Now if I'm building something, I want your trust. Okay, I want you to trust me that I'm building a system in a very, very trusted manner. And secondly, I need to provide assurance to you so that you know that I'm building the systems very securely, right? So trust and assurance is something, and secure by design is something which becomes part of overall CISSP journey. Fourth is, of course, we are dependent on the network. So as you see, if you look at CISSP as a certification, it came once internet boom started. So
Yes.
that means that means you need to understand the internet and the nuances of various security risks on the internet. What are the basic engineering considerations, right?
Right. Right.
And then comes, you have to understand that security is all about access. Who should get access? Who should not get access? So security will focus a lot on, access management, right? And once you have deployed security, it's very important to test it, to audit it, so that you see that security runs very well. And then you have to operate or run the security mechanisms which you have developed, in your organization. And finally, the major component of security is software today, because software is what runs the computing systems and networks and other associated services and products, right? So if you look at this overall conundrum, CISSP is divided into 8 domains. So first domain is security and risk management. This domain deals specifically with senior level issues of senior managers, of how an organization should treat risk, should plan for business continuity, and how management of security or information security needs to be done in an organization. The second domain is called the asset security, where it's very important to identify the assets which need protection. How do you label them? How do you classify them? And ensure that controls are implemented so that these controls can be easily assessed and your data and assets are safe. Okay, we also talk about ownership of various assets and data, uh, which need protection, right? Domain 3 is all about how to architect security, because domain 3 deals with, at the core, it deals with access and how to engineer access. What are the issues with access? What are the issues with modern day systems, different kind of systems which are there in place, high performance computing, industrial control systems. So somewhere down the line, domain 3 deals with system level engineering concepts as far as access design is concerned, right? Domain 4 deals with communication and network security, because as you know that we are, you know, using internet based services. So you have to understand that without internet we cannot have various devices connected all over the world, right? So what happens is you need to understand domain 4 very, very clearly. Krishna, we will take the questions once I'm towards the end. I'll definitely take the questions and, you know, tell you how to go about it, right? So once you have domain 4, domain 5 is all about identity and access management. Now identity and access management is very important today, because, you know, ultimately it's the subjects, that is identity subjects, who access information, and if they access information, domain 5 is all about access control. Then once you have implemented all this security, you need to test and you need to audit your processes, your people, your technologies, and that's why domain 6 is all about security audit and testing, right? Domain 7 is about security operations. Now, once you have designed your security, manage your security, you need to run your security. And what are the principles which you need to keep in mind to make your organizations run securely, continue securely, is the aim of Domain 7. And finally, Domain 8 deals with how you build system and software in a secure manner. And that's where we touch basics of software security, web application security, and various threats and risks to softwares, right? Whether it's web application software, whether it's database, whether it is middleware, you know, we talk about these threats to various applications and softwares.
Okay. So, sir, in terms of the sequence of 1 to 8 domains, for an individual who is starting his journey towards CISSP, does he has to do all this in a linear fashion from 1 to 8, or is there some sort of other categories there as well?
I recommend linearity. I
Okay.
recommend linearity, okay, because everything is correlated. Domain 1 spreads its wings on everyone. Any
Okay.
decision that you have to make, you have to consider domain 1, because ultimately, whatever you want to protect, there has to be governance requirement, there has to be risk management requirement, there has to be a compliance requirement, right? And then only you will be able to take a decision. If you, those three aspects meet the requirement, then only you take a decision, right?
Okay.
So I
Okay.
recommend going linear. In fact,
Yeah.
in my sessions also I go linearly.
Yeah. Okay. And one other thing, out of these 8 domains, which are the 2 or 3 or 4 domains that you consider are mostly not easily understood by the audience? And I would say, I do not want to say difficult, because I know that all of the people who are attending your classes are almost everyone has cleared the exam. But what would you say is kind of a struggle for the students out there?
So what I try to do, love, is I know that domain 1 and 2 are linear. Okay, you
Yes.
have a very, very linear curve. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
difficulty is not high, you go in a linear fashion. But
Yes.
the moment domain 3 is touched, so the
Yes.
vertical climb comes, right? Now
Why,
this is
why
where
is that?
most,
Why is that? Why is that domain three?
because a domain 3 is security architecture and engineering. So
Ah,
what happens is lot of people have do not have the background of probably understanding how an operating system works. See, I am an engineer by, you
right,
know, by education. I did my research in operating systems. I've programmed microcontrollers, so for me it came naturally. So
right, right.
most of the students who do not have exposure to how a computer system works, how an operating system works, they find it a little uh, challenging. But
Okay,
let me tell you, it's not about technology, it's about understanding the concept of subject and object. You have to understand that when an application requests an operating system, the operating system is an object, and the application which is requesting access is a subject.
subject,
So
right.
some people cannot comprehend the subject object concept in security architecture, and that's where probably they find it too heavy. So
Ah, okay,
what I do is I take those domains a little slow, Let's go
Okay.
slow.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
not make it a 5 day boot camp and just get over
Yeah.
with it. No, you cannot do it like that.
Definitely.
Keep it slow.
Definitely.
Keep it slow unless you get the concepts. Okay. Unless you
Yeah.
get the concepts. So
Yeah.
then comes domain 4. Domain 4 also is, since it is network and communication focused, people find it challenging. Those who do not have exposure to network background. But let me tell you, I have had students who have never ever seen a firewall who have passed this exam. It could
Yes.
be,
Yes.
I
Yes.
can name them, I can name them, right? But it's
Yes.
not right for me to name them because
Yeah.
that's something I'm breaking the confidentiality. But I can tell you, I know three people up front who have never even seen a firewall, right?
Wow.
And they have passed the exam, right? So you don't need to know how to configure a firewall. Let me tell you upfront. You need to understand how the internet works, what are the threats, what are the risks, what are the modern day issues with wireless or any communication media, right? So domain 3 and 4, I'll say, so if your starting journey was linear, now comes domain 3. Okay, then domain 4 is slightly, I'll say, let me explain. So this was domain 3, and now
Yeah.
you are flattening curve. So domain 4, it's flattening, and
Okay.
domain 5,
So
6, 7, 8 goes down.
okay. Okay.
So you
Okay.
just need to maintain your consistency and your strength up to domain 4. And
Wow. Wow.
most of the people give up at domain 3 and 4. That's the problem.
That's a huge insight for anybody watching this first podcast. Sir is giving you a very good insight in terms of, where can you stop the preparation. So that is domain three that you need to be watching out for, right? Yeah.
Yeah, most of the people, I'll say 80% of people. But then when I make the concepts clear,
Hmm.
like domain 3, just remember, whenever you're dealing with those uh, control models, access models, remember how a subject would like to access an object. Simple. And then
Simple.
build the access control architecture around it, right?
Good. Good. Thanks, sir. And now, since we are talking about the domains, how about the exam structure? People are very scared about CSSP exam structure because they know that it's AI based. So no questions are there in the market which they can study. There is no dump out there. There is no proxy out there. So what is the CSSP exam structure looks like actually?
So let me give you how it happens in the exam, right? So first thing is, firstly, you book the exam with something called a Pearson View Center. Now, those students who have in their college level appeared for a GRE exam or something, they know what's a View Center looks like. It's a plush exam center where you go, sit down, and you are allotted a terminal, and a computer opens up with the exam, and you answer it on the exam. Now, you have to book the exam certain duration in advance, generally 45 days in advance, on the Pearson View portal, and you book the exam. Now, what happens? The exam, I will say, is not challenging. The exam is, the rumors of the exams are more challenging,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So the exam tests you on your concepts,
Yeah.
and it tests to a certain extent the English language, to be frank.
Definitely
Okay.
English. Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
your understanding of the English, you comprehend English pretty well, then I will say 25% of the task is over,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Second is your reading ability. Okay. Because if you have not read the prescribed CISSP material, when you go in the exam and a long question comes, you won't have the reading ability. We forgot reading the moment we left our schools and colleges. We
Right.
got we got running with our jobs and we hardly read.
Yes.
So this exam cannot be passed if you have not read the authorized material, or at least some good material which is recommended. Okay. It could be
Right.
anything. So what
Right.
I'm trying to say is, you have to understand that you cannot pass this exam without preparation. Now, that preparation could vary from 15 days to 150 days, depending upon the kind of experience, right? Like, I passed this exam roughly around 1 to 2 months of preparation. I read the Cybex once or twice. I made my notes. I referred my notes. Okay, I had ample free time. I sat down. I was there on the Chinese borders. It was cold, and I just made my notes, and I kept revising it, because enemy was, or I will not say enemy, Chinese were sitting quietly. We were also sitting quietly post some escalations. So what would I do? Let's study, right? So I had ample time, and we studied. I studied for like 2 months, and I passed, right? So what did I do? I stuck to concepts. I finished Cybex. Whatever I was easy with, I did not revisit. I knew networks in and out. Okay, but I've never dealt, we always had physical access control management, but I never dealt with logical access control management, so I deep dived there. Okay, then security operations classically we have done. Software development security again was something which was new to me. I never know what is a code repo, right? In armed forces we don't have code repo. We didn't have access to GitHub. We're sitting at borders. What is a GitHub? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Now I know
Yeah.
everything. Now I know how to create a DevSecOps pipeline also. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that time I didn't know. So what I researched. Okay, I researched whenever we got access to internet, because on the borders there's no internet. I used to come back maybe to Leh, Ladakh, and I used to research what is a repo, how to access a repo, and I did it myself. To be frank,
Yeah.
right, and it was very easy to comprehend. Okay, it's a repo. It's just a location where you save your data with a versioning, right?
Yeah.
And you have certain access control built over it so that nobody else is able to access your
Right.
code,
Right.
right? So
Right.
simple concepts. I tried generalizing security concepts, and that's what I do in my training. I generalize. If somebody says, sir, what is a denial of service attack? I say, you have an Amazon application you access daily. Okay, say you are going to access your Amazon app on a sale day, and you
Right.
can't access it. You just had a
Right.
denial of service attack. Now, whether this attack was caused by a attacker or by Amazon who did not put adequate servers to take the load, that's a denial of
Yeah.
service,
Exactly. Exactly.
right? So how do you apply your mind to a given situation is the exam. Now, exam is whether it is AI enabled or pseudo AI enabled. Okay, doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
exam will try to test your weakness.
Yes.
It will throw you certain questions, and if it catches your weakness, it will again re-emphasize the weakness.
Okay.
That's why it's very important that first few questions you answer very, very diligently.
Okay.
Okay, I give a very simple strategy to answer CISSP questions. Out of four options, five options, whatever there are, okay, there might be few questions which have multiple choice or I don't want to say that because that's under NDA. What I will say is the simplest strategy to pass this exam is, out of the four or five options, you will have straight cut two options which are not applicable. Find those
Easily.
two apps.
Easily. Yeah.
Okay, one would be definitely not, then second one also you'll be able to find out now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
out of the balance two answers, find the encompassing answer.
Right.
like
Right.
like if I have to reach to my office, I have to come through that door.
Right.
So which is the encompassing answer? If I want to reach my office, I have to come through that door, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
unless I come through that door, I cannot sit on my office chair.
Right.
So which is the encompassing answer, right? So what I want to say is, right, you have to have this elimination. Firstly, the elimination process. First eliminate wrong, and out of two, then find the encompassing answer. Now, once you're trying to find the encompassing answer, remember that you are not a level 1 or a level 2, because you are expected to have 5 years experience, right? And but not necessary that you have to have 5 years experience to give the exam. The exam wants you to think like a someone senior
Right.
who doesn't put a quick fix, who wants to find the root cause of the problem,
Right.
right? What it will it take so that this issue does not arise in future, in next 5 years or in next 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think from the process of a guy who is managing network security, is opening ports, closing ports, doing investigations. No, the main aim is to find why did this happen, why it should not reoccur ever, right?
No quick
So
fixes.
huh,
No quick fixes.
no quick fixes, no workarounds. If
Okay.
you find a quick fix answer, please don't go with it,
Okay.
right? So no quick fixes, no workarounds. Think long term. Always, whenever you get a CISSP question where it is asking you to make a decision, think long term.
Okay.
Think what is right. Think you're not trying to save the day, you're trying to save the planet,
Wow. Great analogy.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So don't try to save the day. Don't say that I'm driving a EV, so I'm saving the world. Okay. Try to stop the emissions from everywhere,
Yeah.
right? A small step will be due here, but if you are at a position of strength, if you are Prime Minister Modi or you are some leader, try to think how we can save this planet, right? That is the senior level thinking expected out of you, right?
Right. Right.
evening tea is important for me.
Definitely, definitely.
And
While
I
we are,
have it, and I
yeah,
have it the Fauji way. So in the army, we used to have tea in a glass. You know why?
why?
Because up in the higher altitudes, it's very cold, damn cold. So we'd love to
Okay.
hold the hot tea.
To get the warmth out of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got you, got you, got you, got you. So Harish, we'll get back to you, okay? And Krishna, just stay there, okay? We'll get back to you once the session is done. And just continuing back to the preparation side, sir. Let's say somebody is preparing on their own. What are the
Yeah.
free resources out there that they can easily leverage in this exam?
See, I recommend buying Cybex. Okay.
Okay, okay,
You should
okay,
buy a Cybex. Okay. One textbook. I recommend either buying Cybex or CBK. I do recommend Cybex for anyone who is upwards of 5 years of experience.
okay,
Okay. Why? Because Cybex has a little complex English language inside. Okay. It's
okay.
highly boring. It's highly, I will say, it requires a lot of patience to read. Okay. And somewhere
Right.
down the line, that book is written in a manner to actually eliminate the will in you to appear for CISSP, to be frank. Okay.
Yeah, that's so
That
true.
book,
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah,
that book wants you to feel that you're not capable of, you know, taking this exam, right?
yeah,
So that is the first challenge which you need to overcome, right? So
yeah,
I'll tell you a lot of free resources, but I'll definitely tell you that you should buy Cybex 10th edition so that you read that. Whether you buy digital edition, you whatever you are comfortable with.
yeah.
Second resource I do recommend is the Cybex fourth edition practice test. The
Okay,
nearest you will come to this exam is these two books,
okay, okay.
right? I will say 90% questions will not come directly, but from the concepts that you learn from doing those multiple choice questions. Now, once you're
Right.
doing those multiple choice questions, do not try to remember the answer. You've done with this question and then find whether your analogy was correct or not. That's very
No
important.
memorization. No memorization.
No memorize. This exam does not require memorization. This exam requires revisit at least 2 to 3 times so that you are aware of what TCSec does, what is trust and assurance, what is common criteria, what is, you know, say maturity model. Okay, why? Always, whenever you're touching a topic, question why. Why do I need maturity model? Okay,
Right.
my question is to the entire. You can type out why do you need a maturity model? Can someone, if someone is able to tell you 2 words for maturity model, that I need maturity model for dash and dash. Okay, can you answer this question? I'm answering this question to all the subscribers who are watching right now. Right, I need maturity model so that I am confident about dash and dash in your services. Okay, there's a 20-second delay, I know. So I'll wait,
Yeah,
not 20 seconds, 5-10 seconds delay. So I'll wait for
yeah,
5-10 seconds so that
yeah.
people can answer this question. The question is, if I want to assess something, maturity using common criteria, why will I do that? To gain dash and dash. What do I want to showcase if my common criteria level is EAL 7? I said, I have built this iPhone. Apple says, I've built this iPhone. This is EAL 7. What do you get?
So Mohammed has come with an answer. See if it works.
No.
No. Okay.
Why would you buy an Apple phone? Style, maybe?
Brand.
Maybe. What do you
Yeah.
get out of the brand?
Showcasing.
Do you get trust somewhere down the line?
Yes. Yes.
I bought this Apple MacBook in 2020. It has never crashed.
Wow.
Ever. Does it assure me trust?
Yes.
In last 4 years, I never had a virus infection. Does it assure that? Of course, my surfing habits are good. I do not plug a USB. But
Yeah.
Does it give me assurance that this machine is somewhere down the line more stable?
Yeah. Right.
Had it been some other machine or some other operating system in 4 years, I would have had to change the machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The consistency it affords, what I get by, if Apple says, if I'm a scientific guy, I'm a guy in security, and I've asked you to build a software, and you say, hey, listen, I made this software, and this is EAL7. You know what do I get? Firstly, you've gained my trust.
Right.
And secondly, is you're offering me an assurance that this piece of software has gone through rigorous testing in a EAL lab, okay, to prove its maturity. So maturity is there. So if I'm the CISO of an organization, what will I do? I will, to gain business object, because my aim is to, escalate the business, right? So what will I
Right.
go and tell my management? You want to sell this software? You want to sell the software to NASA? You want to sell the software to government? Let's get a EAL certification level 7. Why? Well, that will prove that our product can be trusted, and we get the
Right.
assurance of,
Right.
right? So you have to understand why a maturity model. Maturity model is to gain trust, provide assurance.
Right. Right.
Okay. So simple.
I'm
Why?
yeah.
Why? So that's why you had levels, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have
I'm
levels.
I'm sure now maturity model related question in the CISSP would definitely people be able to clear.
A simple way of remembering maturity model. Whenever maturity model comes question, I will give you a simple keyword. IRDMO.
Uh, Simple. Yeah, very
IRDMO.
simple. Right. Right. Right.
Initiating, okay? Repeating,
Yeah.
defined, managed, optimized. And let
Very
me tell
simple.
you, there will be at least three
Yeah.
questions trying to test you whether you understand a maturity model or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
So
lay the question out paper in front of you. The only thing is, can you map why? It's very
yeah.
important for you to map a why. Why do you need a risk management? Can someone answer this question? Why do you need risk management in security? There's another question. Let's interact. Let's type it out. Try to answer in three simple terms. The more simple you are, the better chances that you will pass this exam. Keep it simple and straight. Why do you need risk management in security? Do we have some replies? Come on,
No.
LinkedIn. Come on, YouTube. So many people watching. Let it be wrong. Don't worry. What? So what? You will be wrong. At max, you will be wrong. So what? At least you will
We
learn
won't
something.
we won't we won't find you for that. Don't worry.
Yeah. Why do you need risk management once you are looking at security? Anyone? Okay, I think the audience is very shy.
Yeah, looks like. Or it is Friday, end of the evening, so maybe they're tired up. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So I need risk management. When do I need to manage something? If I had only one kid, if I only had one kid, do I need too much of planning? Which school will he go? Which college will he go? I have just one kid.
Yeah.
I need to save
Things
some
are
money for
sorted.
him to go to college.
Things
Things
are
are sorted.
sorted. Things are sorted.
Say I have 10 kids.
Now the issue begins.
How will I send them to school? How will I pay the fees? Which college will they go? I can't do anything. So you need management when you have plenty. So you need risk management when there are plenty. So in today's digital world, the risks are plenty, and that's why you need to manage the risk. You do not know from where the risk will land up, whether it will
Yes.
land up from software, whether it will land up from your testing process, whether it will land up from your people who might not align with your organizational requirements,
Yeah.
right? Because risks are plenty, you need to manage those risks. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Somewhere down the line, you are right. But the simple answer is you need to manage something when there are a lot of risks. Okay. Yeah, yeah, love. Any other question?
So
Yeah. So where
one more.
where were we? Yeah,
Yeah, we just discussed the exam structure, and
yeah.
now some quick tips for people who are preparing. Just some quick tips for them.
Very simple tips. Okay. Visit the content at least thrice. First
Okay.
time, read the Cybex or any authorized book. Second time, make some notes. Third time, revisit the notes. Okay. Do questions from Cybex 10th edition. Do questions from Cybex 4th edition. And while answering questions, just have a simple strategy. Why did I answer it right? Why did I answer it wrong? If I
Okay.
answer it right and my analogy is correct, you have a strong area. Whichever answer you are answering wrong, those are your weak areas,
Right. Right.
right? So you should keep on eliminating your weak areas.
Okay. Okay. One more thing, just one more thing, just wanted to check, sir. While you are taking the classes, let's say the 40 hours thing is done, because I've seen most of the professionals out there. There's a very little chance that students can interact with them after the 40 hours window. So do people reach out to you after that window is over, and are you able to get in touch with them for the hand holding?
So, love, my personal training. I don't want to pitch in here. My main aim is to, the main aim is this podcast is so that, you know, besides my personal training, which I do, anybody can interact with me. Main aim is people can reach out to me in 40 minutes because I've been able to make some impact on people who have been able to pass the CISSP. Okay. 42 people pass. I feel happy. In 1 year, 42 people have passed. Overall, above of upwards of 100 people have passed. So, I basically handhold anyone and everyone, you know
Wow.
so you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp, you can reach out to me on YouTube, wherever I am, and hand holding is there, right? So i
That's
i
that.
want I want
Yeah.
India to be this I want India to be India, Middle East, Southeast, to be the security powerhouse of the world. So that's my vision, love.
Wow, that's so great, sir. That's so great, and
If
thank you so
us
much.
can have if
Yeah.
us can have 1 lakh CISSP, India, which is India, Middle East, Southeast, we are 4 times the population. We should have 4 lakh CISSP in next five years. That's
Because
that's my target.
huge potential. Yeah, yeah.
And if it requires just 2 months of preparation and I can guide people, why not?
Right, right, right,
Right?
right. So anybody who's watching, you see the openness, the approach that he has. So Kanal Naha is always there for you. That's one very big thing. Even I can't say that on the screen. So it involves a lot of courage and work in between. So you can see
No.
that.
Second thing, what I did was I found when I was studying, I made handmade notes. If you go on my LinkedIn profile like 5 6 months back, I shared
Okay.
those handmade notes. Okay.
I saw them.
Now,
I saw them. Yeah, yeah,
right. So
yeah.
today I realized that look, people don't have time to make such
Yes.
notes. I had time. I was sitting in front of Chinese and I was making notes, right? In the cold, I was making notes on paper, right? I'm not this generation, I'll say, who makes notes on soft, right?
Soft notes.
So
Yeah.
soft notes. So I don't make soft notes, but I saw that today's generation wants to read on soft, write on soft. So what I did, I said, okay, let me convert my notes into some good effective notes, and I made Cornell notes. 600
Yes.
pages of notes, which took me 3 months to convert from my, you know, handwritten notes to this digital notes. I typed. So I was on a project in Saudi for 3 months, and I had ample amount of time, right?
Wow.
So because a big team was working under me, so I had a lot of time. So I kept typing, and I
Wow.
used certain voice to text tools, and I made these notes because I know that once you've read the book, again reading that book, like Swati has said, how can I clear this in 1 month? Okay, so it is doable, Swati. If you have adequate experience, it is doable. I will tell you how. Right. So 21 chapters, 21 days. We can clear it, but I will give you a strategy. But it all depends on how qualified, how well versed with the different domains you are. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Right. Thank you. Thanks for a lot of people reaching out and
People are loving
commenting.
you, sir. People are loving you. Yeah. Carry on. Yes, sir.
Right,
Carry on.
right, right. I was on the Swati. I was on Swati's question. So the aim is, once you have read the book, what do you need to do? You need to revisit the content. You need to know what is common criteria, what is NIST SPI 837, basic things. Whatever is given in Cybex, please understand. You need to know. You don't
Right.
have to
Right.
remember. You have to know why, because once a question comes in front of you, you will be able to identify. Oh, 837 was risk management. Why? Because our human subconscious tries to remember anything which we have seen thrice. It goes into subconscious when you have gone through 7 times. Oh, where is my camera?
Wow.
Oh, I can't center it.
Yes, yes, yes. I can see you. Yeah, yeah.
That's the human psychology, right? Okay. The human mind, when it goes through a content 7 times, it goes to your subconscious. If you have seen it 3 times, you remember it. So when
Wow.
it comes in front of you, you'll be able to identify. So if you've seen a person 3 times, you will remember that person for the rest of your life.
Wow. This is a unique
That's why you
fact.
need to that's why you
Yeah.
need to go through the content at least thrice. And that's why I
Wow.
made those notes. You can go through those notes, 20 notes per day. That means 600 pages, 30 days done. Right? Attempt the Swati, let me give you a 1 month exam planning pass. One day, one chapter. If you have that resilience, Cybex, one day, one chapter, 20 questions behind. Whichever questions you do right, strength area, whichever question you do wrong, weak area. Identify your weak area. Okay. Then chapter 2 next day, chapter 3 next day, 4, 5, 21 days, 21 chapters, 420 questions. 21th, 22nd day to 28th day, Cybex 4th edition, do the question only once, write a questions, strength areas, weak questions, wrong answered questions, weak areas. Only visit those content, go and give the exam. Though I do not recommend this approach unless you have adequate experience, right? Because it's an exam of testing your gray hair. I so a lot of people with gray hair pass this exam pretty easily. Yes.
Yeah.
After that, 8 days, 8 days, Cybex 4th edition, 1300 questions, and then destiny. Don't do
Wow.
anything else.
Yeah.
One day before the exam, take a proper sleep. But you have to visit the content at least twice. So use my notes to visit the content twice, so that if I say which is the uh, framework which US federal agencies have to mandatorily follow. And in the answer, it comes NIST SP 853, NIST SP 837, NIST CSF 2.0, NIST, 800 Now, if you cannot identify SP 853 because that's the basic security framework for all federal agencies in US, then the exam will sense that you don't know. Why exam wants to sense this? Why the exam wants to sense this? Because it's a US centric certification,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so that's why exam doesn't want you to remember. Exam wants you to know that if you are implementing information security and privacy controls for a US centric federal organization or a contractor, you need to implement NIST SP 853. So it's very important, Swati, that if you can scale down and in these 8 days, whatever questions you are doing, you revisit the content. Okay, and use my notes.
Wow.
Think
A
like
great
a
amount
manager.
of insights. Yeah, a great amount of insights, sir, in this one video only you have given.
Of course. Swati, you can get in touch with me. There's a lady who's preparing, Bhavika Jan, if I'm not wrong. She's also preparing. I'll get you in connect with her. She's also on a very, very tight schedule. She has to attempt the exam pretty soon. So I'm personally guiding her. Right. Okay, let's
I
take the
think
questions
yeah,
from the top. Okay,
yeah.
I'll take the
Yeah.
first question from Krishna. Krishna, hi sir, I'm planning to take CISSP exam in the upcoming month, January. I've completed my course and I'm not practicing MCQs now. Could you suggest any notes or resources with CISSP standard MCQs? No, zero. There are no CISSP standard MCQs. Okay, the only CISSP standard MCQs is your head. Please do Cybex 4th edition, Cybex 10th edition, maybe Boson. That's all. Maybe Lanzap. Do not do anything else. Get the concepts clear. I told you, right? If you could answer me in 2 words, why do we need risk management? Because if you say, oh, there are so many risks, that's why you need management. Simple. Make your studies simple. Why do you need common criteria? Trust and assurance. Why do you need TCSec, ITSec? They were they were prior to TSC, trust services criteria. Why? Trust and assurance. Simple. Why do you need access control? So that subject cannot access object, or the object owner knows who's going to access the whether he has the rights or privileges. So it's a test of your concept. It's not going to, it's going to not even test your managerial. It is going to test whether you are able to solve a solution in long term and not short term.
So
Thanks,
one
Harish.
thing, one
Thanks,
so
Harish.
one
Thanks
yeah.
for your comment. Talk is motivating. Yeah, I will definitely. I'm launching a program at par with ISC Square certified in cybersecurity, so that people can learn more. I will do that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Love.
So, sir, one thing I can say definitely after watching you today for these last 40 minutes is it looks like you have CSSP in yourself. The way that you are answering that confidence level, it's something I haven't seen before. I'll be honest.
Yeah. That's because of Army. To be frank. Okay.
Okay.
It taught me so many things. It taught me how to lay a network. It taught me how to splice a
You have
fiber. It taught me
that passion, you have that fire in you when you speak in terms of CISSP, right?
because I've done
It's,
it.
it's
Because
like,
I've done
yeah,
it with hands, with my
yeah.
own hands, two hands, and I have the evidence to prove it.
Okay. Okay.
I have photographs where I'm laying fiber, optical fiber. I know that optical fiber cable in winters will crack. I know optical fiber cable will be eaten by rats.
Wow.
Okay, and that's going to cause you availability issue, right? So we've done it. I've done it all across the board. All army guys have done it. At least all army guys who deal with communication and networks, of course, they have
Yeah.
done it. All the
It
technical
shows
guys.
it shows that, sir. It is coming out from you. Clearly, it is coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Swati, you can get in touch with me. If you have our number, you can get in touch. I'll give you a small schedule because you're on a very tight schedule if it is 1 month, right? Thank you, infosec guru. Thank you, Swati. Anyone else? Any other question, love? So tomorrow, what is it that we are discussing? We're starting with domain one, right?
We are not on weekends, sir. We have to start from Monday to
Oh, yeah,
Friday.
we are starting on Monday 5 p.m. We will be discussing. So, domain, if it is 40 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour, I'll take 4 days to cover domain one.
Okay. Okay.
That's my okay. And
Okay.
maybe I'll do 10 odd questions to, make people understand how to answer those questions. And
Yeah.
why I want you, love, so that you push me, because at times I might go lackadaisical and,
No, no,
start.
definitely. I'm from the audience side, sir. I'll bring you here no matter what takes me.
So this guy pushes me a lot, and thanks for
Yeah.
that, because I've been trying to do this for a very long time,
I know. I
and
know.
somehow
So, so,
I didn't get
so
the
just so
motivation.
just so just a insider information for everybody who is watching. So Kanal Naha already had a studio set up when I first met him. I think 2 to 3 months back, but he never had that thing to go out there. Now I'm making him to come out in that studio.
Yeah, somewhere down the line, I was maybe not taking it, but I really feel great. The morning sessions which we do, people ask so many things.
Yeah.
You start your day with something beautiful. You are ending your day with something beautiful. Sharing your knowledge. Please share your knowledge. Okay. Apart
Yeah.
from business, of course, I train people. People come. I do train them, but this, it actually gives you a lot of pleasure, and I'm pretty
Because
passionate about CISSP.
because
To be frank,
this is our community, sir. This is our community now. We are a part
yeah.
of the community,
So,
cybersecurity
so if
community.
somebody wants a personal training, fine, they come join our batch. I don't care, right? What I
Yeah.
care is, if I can impart knowledge, I can make changes to somebody's life. Why not,
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
right? Uh, by the way, government pays me a good pension. I can actually retire today. Perks of serving in the armed forces, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So thank you, everyone. And Swati, you can get in touch with Davidson. Definitely, man. You will make it. All of you will make it. So Mujahid, you are already a qualified person. Why do you need to get into cybersecurity? We know you very well. You are there in our each and every, uh, you know, what
Podcast.
else? Podcast. You are
Yeah.
the most ardent fan.
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
what?
Mujahid. Thank you.
Thank you, Mujahid. So, but what we will tell you, Mujahid, I think you should start from scratch.
Yeah.
Get your
Yeah.
CCNA. But you are
Yeah.
already a techie guy, right? So get your
Yeah.
CCNA first, right? Start from scratch. Why not?
Mm.
Right. Okay. You don't like documentation. That's what you. In security, there is a lot of documentation. In change
Yeah.
management, there is a lot of documentation. In security, remember, whatever decision you take, please document it,
Yeah.
because it becomes an evidence, right? If you have pushed a network change, take an evidence. If you have pushed in a network change, take an evidence. If you want to change, take an evidence. If change is approved, take an evidence. Why? Because something goes wrong, people will catch your neck. Okay, so take an evidence always.
Right.
Right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you guys, and so much of response. So happy for interacting with us. We will be we will be online every day at 5 p.m. You can also watch the recordings live. Take
And
care.
and in the, and in the morning at 7 also. We are also live
Morning
in the
7
morning.
also we do a podcast. We take various topics, discuss our mind out, we prepare. So that gives us also some intellectual knowledge to
Yes.
prepare and come and give it to you all. Right?
But this one
Any
is dedicated
questions?
for CISSP. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is evening one is dedicated to CISSP, and
Yeah.
I will do say a 4 hour, a total 40-hour session. This podcast will be completely for 40 hours, maybe 40
Okay.
days it will go on. So if you are preparing with me right now, I think this is the best podcast to follow. So we will have
Wow.
roughly, I think, so 8 weeks. I think 2 months this podcast will go on. Okay,
Wow.
and then we will discuss questions also. Right, I will select 10 questions per domain and how to answer them. Okay, what are the key considerations we should keep in mind? Right. So I'm not going to have a slide warfare. I will give you key points. If you want to refer, I have beautiful Cornell notes which are there on our uh, portal. Please go and download it. I've priced them very expensive at 1 rupees.
Okay.
It was free. If you go on my LinkedIn page, you will get, but my LMS does not allow me to, put a document of 22 MB without taking 1 rupees from people. So I didn't have any choice. So my platform says it's a 22 MB file. We have to charge you for storage. So that's why it has to be put at 1 rupee. But it is completely free. Go on my LinkedIn post. It's there. It's floating around on lots of WhatsApp group. But if you want to spend 1 rupee, okay, you can spend and you can get it on our portal also.
Yeah.
Right? I've put the portal on our on the chat. Right. Thank you so much, love, and thank you all for joining. See you next Monday. Bye.
Bye.